You always hear how to focus on your goals. You got to focus on one thing at a time. How exactly do you find that one thing? I'm Dom Jackson, David Media. This is a 7-day scoop show. Making sure where I document my career decisions that I'm making, the adventures I'm trying to pursue, where I use my stories and my adventures to help motivate and teach you. So I had to figure out what to focus on. I actually got this from Hermosi, who got it from Steve Jobs. And he was talking about in the video the difference between Western art and Eastern art. And in the Western art, most of the time it's viewed as you're taking something, nothing, and making it something. So if you have a marble slab, you're taking the marble, you're making a sculpture out of the marble. But in Eastern art, it's based off of, it's already in there, you're just bringing it out. So one is like creating nothing into something, the other one is removing things to create the right thing. Removing things so the other thing just has to come out, like it's the only other option. And I think that works better when you're trying to solve your problems, because if you just don't do the things that are not, you do things that, if you stop doing things that are wrong, you have no choice but do the things that are right. So with that being the case, my thought process was like, let's just say I got good at everything of the three things I just talked about. Really good at recruiting, really good at selling, and really good at training, along with the actual servicing we're doing as well. But these are just three main things I have to work on personally. So out of all those three things, if I just didn't do, let's just say I just took away one of them entirely, could I still function? So let's just say, boom, I'm really good at recruiting. I'm a master of recruiting. So I can get people in, and then we just got people in. And it's like a revolving door, people coming in and coming out. Okay, no problem. Let's just say I'm really good at training. So I'm really good at people come in and train them to do something once they're here, but nothing really happens. Okay, then let me just try being really good at sales. If I'm good at sales, then at least I have that foundation down for myself, and everything else kind of spins off of there. So if you just remove all the other things, if you have a lot of things to think about, start removing stuff and then see which one needs to stand alone. So, that's what became my thought process. Like, focus on your sales the most, get really good at that process, and then everything else will spill over into the right direction. Going back to that whole remove to find what's missing, to find what's right. If I look at all the things that we do that create sales, all the things that stop you from making a sale would be the things that you'd have to get rid of. So, the biggest single factor that from training from other people, talking and networking out, and from just own personal experience, is that you end up not doing your best pitch. Pitch that I have down, that I've mastered or created just from doing all the reps, that has a certain amount of time, pacing, flow, and wording that sells. And I know it when I do it because I feel like a little, I don't know, I feel a little itch. And then I do it and I get the sale. But the question is, why don't I do that all the time? And figuring out that why is how to figure out the first question of how to get better at sales. And this reminds me of when I just learned how to swim for the first time. Last December, I was learning how to swim. And during that time period, I realized that I could only really swim if I was doing this exact stroke I figured out how to do. It was it was a certain rhythm I had to be at to even stay above the water. If not, it was a whole lot of flopping around and moving around. And that's kind of gave with this new concept that I keep. I'm gonna use words for example, because words, you can understand spelling because it's universal. But the principle behind it is that, let's say you had the word stop, S-T-O-P. S-T-O-P is the word, S-T-O-P spells stop. And you have an S, a T, an O, and a P. So that's 4 letters. So when I'm doing the perfect pitch, those 4 letters are aligned in the same way. But then let's just say something happens and I don't know, I'm tired or groggy, or someone catches me off guard, or I had a long day somewhere else and now I don't have the energy. So I'm not pitching the same way, I'm not spelling stop. So let's just say we mix the words up again to have the same letters. Instead of being stop, we spell post, P-O-S-T. Now post, also 4 letters, also same letters as the word stop, but they're not in the same order. So the pitch is not the same. So in that case, you gotta figure out how to get the same rhythm and tone every single time to spell stop again every single time. In order to do that now, my new process is I'm listening to like my field tape of how I sound. I have to first figure out what my like best pitch sounds like. So the one that I do that like I know I'm in a zone, I'm in that flow state, I'm pitching it right. What do I sound like? How am I pausing? What's my cadence like? So when I play back the tape, I'm listening to that. What exactly did I say? How long was it is? How like what does it sound like when I'm in like that ideal one? Two is figuring out how to practice each one of the lines of it at a level that I can do that consistently. So it's like boom, 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 boom. Which part of the 5 steps of how we have our conversation laid out in our system to it, how do I make sure each part of the system is the same every single time? 3 is creating my own training program so I can keep doing that at the same time all the time. And where I'm at right now is still the listening stage. So I'm listening to my field tapes, playing them back, and I've been writing down like, oh, okay. Because now I can hear, okay, I was a little bit too fast on this one. I was a little bit too slow on this one. I stuttered here. I paused here, but I should have said something in the middle of that time period. So I can hear what a good one sounds like. If you're trying to figure out where the first step is, take away everything else, try to remove stuff, and then whatever the answer is by default will be the one that you can't get rid of. It's always a good first step to start with. Now with that, the next thing that I've learned this week, it's very interesting meeting people for the first time because you kind of hit, some people you click automatically, other people you don't, some people you like kind of get, some people you don't kind of get. You have all these little things inside your own body that like trigger different feelings through your own mental frames and insecurities. And I had someone this week who was super qualified, very professional, a lot of great experience, was already ready to work. A lot of time we'll come in, we'll get someone who's like fresh. We take you from the ground and build you up. So you can come with no skills and we'll give you the skills from training and recruiting. But if you come with a lot of skills already, we're hyped to have you. When somebody came in who was kind of overqualified, I was like, oh shoot, like, what the heck do I even do with this one? Which was good because I had to find that feeling of like, oh, I don't know how to explain the opportunity to someone with this much experience. So it's a skill issue on my end. And I felt that. It kind of hurt in like the ego sense, but it was a great opening of like, oh, like, this is somebody who I don't know how to handle yet. And so I just ended up losing a quality candidate that could have came in. And the level of skill and opportunity you possess is always going to attract people you attract. So it's cool to just see like, oh wow, like there's a whole another set of things in myself that I don't have yet that I can find. So the one thing on that one for right now is just do more reps so I can find the cadence of it. But now I can see and feel when I'm like, and like kind of like qualify myself out through fear was good a moment to experience. And the third and last thing that I'm gonna talk about learning wise, dealing with different retail stores. I'm starting to make my playbook of like how to assess a store. So one of the biggest things I do now when I go to a store I haven't worked before, I look at the cars in the parking lot and look at what type of cars they are. So, if it's a lot of like cars from 2000s or even 2010s, and like sometimes they're beaten up, not beaten up, you at least have an idea of what kind of income levels coming into the store, or at least how they're perceived. Because I go into a parking lot, I see a lot of European cars, a lot of new Teslas, a lot of upper name brands. You just know that store is going to have a little bit more income, or at least people have the perception of income inside that store. But that store, like, that's the vibe of that store. Versus a store, you got a lot of pickup trucks that were kind of old, different strokes for different folks. But the income level of the store is going to be a big factor of what we do. The next part is that there's 2 ways I break it down now, just right now. The two parts of it is the store's volume and then the store's income. So, 1, how much traffic's coming into that store throughout the day. 2, how much money's in that area inside that store. And you can have a low volume, high income, or a low volume, low income. And the strategy has to be different for each one of those stores versus a store that's high volume, high income, and a store that's high volume, low income. And figuring out how to adjust your strategy each one of those stores, how to play it. I know now with enough experience, because the store I was at 2 weeks ago was a high volume, high income store. And the store that I worked at this previous week was a low volume, high income store. And the strategies in them are both very differently. With a high volume store, you just got to keep yourself paced the whole time. You just got to be ready to keep going and keep going after people and being smart with your time. Because a lot of people are coming to waste your time. You have more people, we also have more people coming to waste your time. So you have to be more decisive, like when to get rid of them, when to keep them. And with a low volume store, you have to be a lot more strategic because you may not have as many opportunities to sell somebody. So you have to be able to wit there and play the long game and keep yourself at the same cadence all the time. But as I do more, I'll be able to digest all the different things I've learned so far. But as always, take it one step at a time. You'll get there day by day.